watching News at Prime, let's take you back to one of our leading stories now, which is the snowstorm, which affected major routes linking Gauteng and KwaZulu-Natal. Thousands of motorists were left stranded for nearly a day or even more before any help could come forward. Let's speak now to two of the victims, Keeya, Mofokeng and Lungani, Mhlongo. To both of you, thank you very much for making time for this conversation. Keeya, good evening to you. Let's start here in studio. You were headed to KZN. Tell us a little bit more, and were you able to reach your destination, or it had to be, let's go back to Joburg.
So I was on my way to Durban for a funeral. Yes, so I went to pay my last respect to my mentor who had passed, Rio from Saga.
Yes.
And yeah, we got stuck there from 11:15 until we got to the garage at 6:45 in the morning. So all this time we were in the car.
So when you say you got stuck at the garage, is this the Harry Smith, the Beckville? Yes.
We were in Harry Smith, so we had a friend in Durban who was trying to navigate us. Where there's traffic, you know, he would go and check for us on X to check where is it stuck and stuff like that. And luckily, the driver that I had gotten a lift from, I've never seen such a stubborn person, because he would have slept actually there. And he pushed. He was like, we're not sleeping here. We are going to come out of this. I don't care when, but we are going to come out. So when all the cars were stuck, we were like, have you seen when you are stuck in a gravesite or that Titanic?
Yeah.
It was like we were in the Titanic where everyone is trying to save their lives. And yeah.
All right, Keeya, there's something wrong with your mic. We're going to try and fix that. So while we do that, let's talk to Lungani Mhlongo. Lungani, good evening to you. The understanding is that you were giving live updates on this channel during the weekend. Talk to us about where you were headed. Let's hear your story now. And were you able to reach your destination?
Good evening, Xoli. Good evening to you and viewers at home. Yes, indeed. On Friday, I was on my way home in Durban. There was an emergency that I had to attend to at home. So, so I decided to say, okay, fine, because schools are closed, let me just go with my kids. And then we drove to Durban, and when we got into Harry Smith towards Montrose, we saw the weather changes, and we saw snow falling down. But it was just a lighter snow, right? It was around 5 p.m. when we got to Montrose, and then we bought food, bought everything that we needed. Then we continued the journey. Then when we went up towards, Padrinian, that's where now the issue halfway started, because there was a heavy snow falling down, and there were a lot of trucks and cars that were stuck. There was a heavy snow. No one was able to move. Cars were slippery. It was very, very difficult. So we just decided to say, okay, it's fine, we are stuck. Let's wait and see. Because there were a number of cars behind us. There was no turning back. There was all 5 lanes were used, even oncoming traffic were used by cars going up towards Natal or towards Lady Smith. So now we wanted to turn back to Johannesburg. There was no way to turn back. Traffic was very heavy.
Wow.
And there were very few metro police or traffic police that were there. There were 3 or 4, and there were a lot of cars. They couldn't manage themselves. So so we spent the night from Friday at 7 p.m. when we got stuck. And
sleeping in the car? Were you sleeping in the car?
Sleeping in the car, yes. Yes, with my kids and wife. So we did that. It was freezing, but because I'm a journalist and I could see that this thing is happening, I shared it on Facebook, and most people showed interest, including Newzroom Afrika, and then they contacted me, and then we made arrangements. Then I said, no, I'm going out. I'm going outside. It's freezing. It's fine. But I want to report. The country must know what is happening. We are not used to this kind of experience.
Exactly. This is wonderful news to hear that you still were able to do your journalistic duty whilst stuck in a car with lots of heavy snowstorm. Let me tell you a brief story about me and my family, Keeya. Okay. We were also headed to Durban to a wedding. And you know some of these things, you can't postpone them. So we're thinking, okay, reports are suggesting if you can postpone the travel, please do that. But otherwise, I suppose you can still try. So we were one of those. And so we braved it out. Little did we know that we were going to be caught up in such heavy snow. So just as we were getting to Harrismith, that Beckview complex, it's that little shopping center there with the restaurants and the petrol station. So we basically spent the night in the car. But talk to me about your experience as you were trying to navigate this, because we did this in the dead of night. We got to that petrol station at around midnight. How was your travel? Talk to me about the experience on the road. Drivers, were people able to drive in basically freezing conditions, particularly on the wet roads? I found that experience very, very scary for me, because there were some people who simply were speeding as if their cars will not skid.
Yeah. So for me, what I found very scary was if you're driving a small car and you are in the middle of trucks and you are claustrophobic.
Scary.
It was very scary. And you don't know what is happening in front.
Yeah.
Because we didn't know whether there was an accident, as much as we were mapping and it will show that red line to say there's something happening there in front, but we don't know whether there's an accident, whether there's what, and. So what we did, because there were no oncoming traffic, there were no cars coming. So on the 4-lane, 2 going down, 2 coming up, we saw other cars, using the other lane, and we followed because we wanted to see what was happening in front.
Yes.
Only to get there, the police cars were just there blocking everything. And then the driver got out to go and ask, what is happening? And they're like, no, it's closed. So my frustration was, yes, we knew there was a snow, but why didn't they close the roads earlier, knowing that this is what has happened on a Friday? Navigate the traffic from Johannesburg to see that we've got enough influx right now that we cannot navigate.
We can't accept any more people coming and flocking almost to the same place.
Close the road that now goes into, because now we kept on piling up. And there was no help. There were rescue cars, but they were not rescuing anyone. They were just sitting in their cars.
Oh, my goodness. Lungani, let's talk about the traffic authorities. Do you think that next time around, perhaps, they can be more forceful about stopping people from making the journey if they know that a certain route is going to be closed? For example, Van Rienen's Pass. By the time I realized that it was closed off, it's when I was stuck behind trucks towards Montrose, because I had actually passed the complex towards this garage, the Harrismith garage. So I'd actually passed.
Stop, yes.
Exactly. I was now headed towards Montrose, and that's when I made the U-turn. Do you think, Lungani, traffic authorities have to be more forceful the next time around when these bad weather conditions persist, so that you don't have a congestion of many people in one area?
Indeed, Xoli, I think that they should plan properly next time, because it is the very same authorities that issue these warnings. They should have planned much better and don't say, we have issued the warning, we'll see. Because it seems as if they were under-resourced, it seems as if they poorly planned for it, or they did not take this thing serious, what they've issued. But I think that my colleague has said that people had to travel for various reasons, and some of them did not have a choice. So therefore, government next time should plan better, respond quickly. This is an emergency. If they were, I'm not an expert, but government should have tried something much better. There were no sense of agency from government, both provincial government, the Free State and KwaZulu-Natal. I think their response was too late. They could have done better. I think they need to improve in their planning and mobilize resources in such cases.
Yeah. Keeya, again, I'm going to keep referencing to my own experience.
Okay.
So when we turn back and we go back to the Beckview complex, because that's what it's called, and we realize, so there's some accommodation. So remember, it's in the dead of night. It's at midnight. And we're thinking possibly there could be a place here where we can sleep.
Everything was
It's
fully
shut.
booked.
Everything is shut. In fact, it was fully booked. Now, it's at night. You cannot go forward, nor can you go backward. Do you think that this is also perhaps a business opportunity for people to start thinking about making their homes Airbnbs? Is that something that could help at least turn a crisis into some kind of profit for those that live in the area?
Definitely, definitely. Because that area, I'm from Durban originally, so I always travel on N3. And most of the things that happen, they happen around Van Rieenen and Harry Smith. So I think more opportunities for people who live around the area, but also, as much as we were told that there might be a snow, I feel that the authorities, you know, the disaster emergency people should have just, you know, looked at this, you know, precautionary measures. They should have been waiting forcefully. Because things like this have been said before, but it has never been like this. So it was new for all of us. But I feel that they should have been waiting somewhere in a shovel to say, you know what, if it happens, we go in with the shovels or whatever to help navigate the traffic. Because now you are sitting in the car, you cannot keep your car running. Because most of the people where we were stuck, it was like 5 kilometers away from Montrose. And a lot of people, I feel they were going to fill up at Montrose. So now if you cannot fill up, of course you're going to switch your car off because petrol is running out, you've got no food, you were hoping to buy food, and. And I hear a lot of people, oh, but where were you guys going? There's a lot of emergencies that happen. Schools were closed, long weekend, there's funerals, there's weddings.
It's an opportunity for a short left, which is what tourism always encourages.
Exactly. There are single moms who are like, you know what, I need a break. I'm taking my kids to grandparents. We're going on a holiday and so forth. There's a whole lot of things that people were going down for. Like I was going down to pay my last respect to someone who made me.
And that's something that you can't postpone.
And it's something that you cannot postpone because the funeral is on Saturday and I have to go there. And I had another engagement on Sunday because I'm an author. And I was going there to be a speaker because, you know, they needed my books. So I ended up sitting with my books in the car and I lost a lot of revenue. So, yeah.
Lungani, last comments from you. And Keeya here talks about you can't keep your car engine running. Well, it is precisely what I did throughout the night, all the way up until 5 a.m. when we could at least drive ever so slowly around just to get closer to the restaurants. Lungani, for you, do you think, I saw you nodding when she was talking about this possibly being turned into a business opportunity, particularly for the people of Harry Smith. Do you think there is a business opportunity here as well?
Yes, indeed. I think this is a lesson for all of us to learn new things, explore new business opportunities, because really there were a lot of people who needed a place to stay, especially those who are, you know, who are fragile. We should look into that. Everybody should look into that, especially communities around the highway. But also, Xoli, I think that even ourselves as travelers or motorists, we must learn that you need to fuel up. As soon as you see a garage, if you have tank filled up, make sure your tires are filled up as well, because you don't know what might happen. People are saying that their batteries died, their engines failed because there's no water and so on. So we must prepare better and be ready for anything that can happen in life.
Lungani Mhlongo, thank you very much for your time and sharing your experiences. Keeya Mofokeng, thank you very much for sharing your experience as well. I felt badly, particularly for those that were traveling with the kids in a taxi, because you could see them coming up
as well
at the garage, and it's a quick run inside the shop, but they can't stay there for too long, so they've got to go back into the taxi. Yeah, and it explains why the 39-year-old sadly lost their life whilst they were in a taxi. So as much as some of us had those wonderful experiences playing with snow, but there were people whose frailties simply could not take.
Especially females, you are traveling, you are stuck, like you can't even go and release yourself because the snow. We were stuck for 2 hours and we tried to reverse now, to swerve the car to go back to look for help, because where we were, it was like it was a ghost house, like a ghost road. if I may put it like that.
Yeah.
It was like we are in a Titanic, but like I'm saying, the driver that I was with was very stubborn. He was like, we're not going to sleep here. We will make everything to turn back. So we tried for 2 hours for the car just to turn and face the direction we were coming from so that we can find help.
Wow.
So at that moment, the windows were down. He was trying to jump on the car. I was trying to rev the car. And the ice was just not allowing us to do so. So that was the most scariest thing ever, because you don't know who's gonna come from nowhere, because it was dark.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's a scary moment.
It is.
And for me, just the car, you can't keep this car steady on the icy road.
Yeah.
It was my first experience ever. So driving 40 Ks, 20 Ks an hour, that's exactly
and we bumped into a truck.
what you had to do.
The car swerved, went into a truck.
Underneath the truck.
Underneath the truck.
I think you and I saw the same car. Was it a Toyota
No,
Corolla?
it was our car.
Oh, no.
Yes, it was our car. We were almost out, and then the car just swerved because of the ice. The car just swerved. It went right under the truck. Wow. And then it hit the truck. So we had to alert the truck driver, because the truck was just standing.
Yeah.
We had to alert the truck driver, and then few drivers came, try to now get this car out. It was, we couldn't even take pictures or videos. It was just so scary. But hey, we survived, and here we are.